good, guys? Welcome back to Ron's Rides. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where the first 2022 Maserati Ghibli has shown up. And it's not just one Maserati Ghibli, just a plain Maserati Ghibli. It's the Modena trim. Yes, a new trim for 2022 is here and is right behind me. And this spec, I thought the Levante GT trim was incredible. The 2022 GT trim that I just did. This, over $13,000 worth of options, but this thing just looks insane. And I have to show it off to you guys because this is the first time we've seen the 2022 here. This is the first time we've seen the Modena trim. This is the first time we've seen a lot of things on this Ghibli. So we have to check this thing out right away. Now, if you guys haven't already, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps grow the audience, grow the community, and we get better opportunities to get these Italian machines behind me on the channel. Now, I'm here at Maserati Alfa Romeo of Daytona Beach, where this car has yet to be detailed. I always try to get these cars out to you right away before somebody sees this and buys it right off the lot. It's happened many times before. So it has not been cleaned up and detailed yet. So you still see stickers and stuff on it. It's still dirty in places because it hasn't been properly cleaned, but I have to show it off before it's gone because specs like this don't come around too often. All right, guys, so what is the Modena spec or the Modena trim level for this year? We just talked about the GT trim level, which is the entry level for the USA market. Now, for the European market and overseas, it is actually the hybrid model that gets the GT badge. But here in the States, we do not get the hybrid models. So what we get is the just base model GT trim. Now, with that said, you can option it with all things like we saw with that Levante. Now, then you get the Modena trim, which really replaces the S models, all right? So this is basically an S Grand Sport from the previous years, but with a few different flares, a little bit more to it. And I'll get to that in just a moment. And then obviously we have the top of the line Trofeo trim for the 2022 model this year. So we do have three trim levels that we have. And this was like the middle child. This is where the porridge is just right. Not too little, but not too much. Before we get through all the details, let's talk about the powertrain. If you're wondering if there's a big boost for the Modena range, well, again, it's basically like the Ghibli S, which means it's rear-wheel drive. It gets this familiar Ferrari derived powertrain of a twin-turbo 3-liter V6 that's gonna pump out 424 horsepower, 428 pound-feet of torque, and you get this with the 8-speed ZF transmission. Now, when that comes to top speeds in 0 to 60, well, you're looking at a 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds with a max 178 mile per hour top speed. So the same performing numbers that you're used to. I wanna say that this is a performing model, but it's not the performance model. Obviously, if you guys know the Trofeo, you know that makes that engine, the twin turbo V8 engine, makes the Maserati Ghibli Trofeo the fastest Maserati in the lineup. And I say fastest because the MC20 goes 202 miles per hour to where the Ghibli Trofeo goes 203 miles per hour. It's faster, but not quicker 0 to 60. So this one here is a performing model, but not the performance model. And this is the middle child as far as the trim level spec and the engine, because we have the base 345 horsepower variant to where we have the 424 horsepower variant and the Trofeo 580 horsepower variant. So keep that in mind. Now that we've talked about power and performance, let's talk about looks. Holy crap. Now, you guys know this Nero Rebelli paint is still very, very sinister and stealthy with this all black look. Now, with this black comes a few more details because we have the Nerissimo package, which blacks out everything else that isn't already black on this already darkened Ghibli. So with that said, we'll start up front per usual. The first thing we need to talk about is the new Maserati logo up front. Now, you guys can see that, and it looks so good, so elegant. It's just more two colors, all right, keeping it simple. Classic Maserati blue and Bianco. I mean, I love the look. It does something to the car. It's just, I don't know, but that's not my favorite emblem of them all. Now, when you go down here, on the grille, you will see that it is all black because of that Nerissimo package. And in 2021, Maserati did decide to accentuate the grille a little bit and add these matte finishes and make it a little bit more 3D. And we do have that big fat trident in the middle, which means level 2 ADAS, all right? So your driving assistance tech is all there. You do get, with the Modena trim, the Grand Sport front fascia. So you get the big blades on the side and the wide open mouth grille. So the Modena trim will give you the Grand Sport look that you're used to. For the previous years, it's just named differently. Also, the Modena trim will give you the full matrix LED headlamps, which are by far the best looking headlights. I mean, they just, they fit this flavor so good. The way that they light up and accentuate the Maserati just DNA, it just, I'll show you guys obviously once I have it all turned on and ready to go. Now, black package, let's continue with that theme because we have my favorite wheels, as I told you guys, from the Maserati lineup that have been in the game since 2014 when the Maserati Ghibli was launched. The 21-inch gloss black titanium wheels. All right, now these are an option. All right, and with the black package, they're going to be all gloss black. Now this option is a big option. $3,600 for these wheels. All right, so that's just for this flavor. I'm sure if you got it on more of an entry-level spec, it probably will be even more. They cut you some slack when you get the higher trim levels as far as the price goes. So 21-inch wheels on this thing. I mean, you already know how I feel about these wheels. Red calipers, white script, and drilled Brembo rotors. You know what that means, all right? When you have the higher performing engines, you get the drilled rotors over just the regular rotors, all right? So you do have drilled rotors, which lets you know that this is the 424 horsepower variant, all right? Pirelli tires per usual, all right? And they are R-rated because you go 170 miles per hour, you're gonna need good tires to keep you on the road. Now, above the portholes on the side, all right, classic portholes, a little bit of a more darkened flavor, but you get the new Modena badge, and not only do you get the new Modena badge, it's blacked out. All right, so the Nerissimo package has this thing all blacked out for the Modena badge here in this cursive script. It looks really cool. This is my first time actually seeing the Modena badge, let alone blacked out. We saw the GT badge just in the previous video with the Levante, but now we get the Modena badge all darkened out. So that's even more stealthier. I mean, just a great look with this whole setup. Now, with this, you get the moldings all done in gloss black. Your door handles are the body color, which is Nero Rebelle. This is, again, the new Maserati Trident, and we've seen it before, but this time it is blacked out. That looks so cool. So you can tell that the Nerissimo package on the Modena trim takes it to another level versus on the GT trim that we saw on the Levante. I love that. Big Trident right there, blacked out, meshes in so very well until you get up on it and it strikes you in the heart. I love that look. Man, I'm just in love with this spec again. I thought I was in love with the Levante spec, this even more. And then you see the classic boomerang tails that have been here since 2021. All right, so you know what these are all about. All right, full LED boomerang tail lamps, darkened Maserati insignia there, all right, with the stripe, and the Ghibli badge darkened as well because of that black package, and the black exhaust tips, and you get the rear fascia, all right, the rear diffuser and everything of the Grand Sport just like up front. So the Modena trim will give you the Grand Sport looks in the front and the rear, but then the black package will darken that exhaust and you get the gloss black rear diffuser. So all in all, it looks so good all together, guys. You have to let me know if I'm just hyping this up or does it look as good as I say it does. Now, the real question is, does it sound as good as it looks? And you guys know the answer, but anyways, we're gonna do it. Now, per usual, as I mentioned, we will get the full matrix LEDs all lit up there. As you can see with the turn signals, the LED switchbacks will go up front there so you can see it, all illuminated, looking phenomenal. I love these headlights so much. And then right here on the turn signal for the mirror cap, and then the boomerangs lit up, and I have the fog lamps on as well. I'll show you exactly where that is. The fog lamps are in the back for these. All right, so the boomerangs lit up, but you see the fog light is right here. All right, so that's considered the fog. Turn signals there. All right, boomerang tail there, and then your reverse light would be right there. So I've done a whole video on these, showing them illuminated and how they look, and they look phenomenal, stunning. I mean, fantastic. There's no words for it. Now, before we get inside, let's talk more about the specifics. You know, fuel economy, 20 combined city and highway, 18 city, 25 for the highway. Now, highway 25, well, maybe if you're in ICE mode and cruise control and taking it lightly, very gently on that throttle. But with that said, if you're doing spirited driving in sport mode and stuff, might be a little bit lower on the city, you know, so it just depends on your driving style. But premium fuel only for these cars. You know, sometimes they'll surprise you with the twin turbo V6s, but expect around that amount. our classic Maserati key fob to open up the trunk. Same since 2014, and it's a beautiful design. It was one of the first to really take it up a notch with the Italian brands as far as the key fob. Now, unlock, lock, trunk release, and remote start. Physical key on the side here. And when you press this here, you do not get the pleasure, even with $13,000 plus of options, to have the automated trunk where you would press the button here and it would close it and lock it. You do not have that option on this car. 17.7 cubic feet of space. All right, 60-40 rear split, so those seats will fold down more on the left-hand side than the right. All right, then underneath here, I mean, you have all the space you might need, cargo net, and then your spare tire here. All right, tire inflate kit, your jack, your front plate kit to mount your front plate, and your battery stowed away back here. Before we step inside and see this interior spec, I have to mention the doors because you have the dual pane windows. You have the hinge-free preset where you can open the door wherever you want. No, preset hinge. I mean, I guess it speaks for itself there. All right, and pillarless design where the pillar stays fixed to the car. Now, one thing I brought up is that Maserati took away the soft closed doors option as standard for the 2022 models. So in 2021, they made soft closed doors standard, but this year, as you can see, it is not standard. Now, I love that option just because these doors are heavy. They are definitely heavy doors with this hinge-free design with the dual pane glass. So when you do that, it's gonna be one of those times you really just have to come back and really put some oomph into it. Now, I just might be very, I don't know, needy or spoiled or whatever you wanna call it, but it is what it is. All right, so let me turn this off because I have it on so you won't get the beeps and it get too annoying. But Rosso interior, all right? Yes, I mean, I'm a sucker for red interior, what can I say? So here we are again with Nero and Rosso interior for this Maserati Ghibli Modena. But Modena, I mean, that's gonna give you a little bit more. So we got carbon fiber trim for this one here, all right? So let's take a step inside and see what this is all about. But before we do that, rubber pedals, yeah, don't have them here. For the aluminum, just rubber. It definitely takes away from the look and finish and feel of this car when you see all the aluminum, carbon, leather, all that good stitch, and then you got the rubber pedals. So I wish that just came standard with the Modena trim. You do have the new seat controls that came over from 2021 with the aluminum and black. Again, that comes standard and it looks very good instead of it being all black or black plastic. So you see where I'm coming from with the pedals and everything there. Maserati side still in aluminum, still covered up because it hasn't been detailed yet. And then your door paneling here, I mean, which you're used to from the Maserati Ghibli, leather all around, all right, Nero stitching, all right, you have carbon fiber trim right here and aluminum stitching. You have the aluminum stitching, or not stitching, aluminum trim. You have the aluminum trim around your seat memory there, and then you have the Rosso leather with Nero stitching right here on your armrest and where your mirror controls, your locks, and windows are as well. And you have your normal system here for your radio. No upgraded system, no upgraded Harman Kardon, or no upgraded Bowers & Wilkins system here. Stitch logo, I wish that there was a stitch logo standard instead of the embossed logo, but it is what it is. Neo stitching all throughout these seats, and these seats are heated and ventilated seats, all right? So keep that in mind that you will cool and warm your butt with these seats. Also, while we're down here, telescopic steering wheel, all right? So going up, going back, going down, going up. So keep that in mind, you do have that as well. All right, now let's step inside. So inside of the Modena GT, again, you're gonna see a lot of the things that you're familiar with in here. I can't think of one thing necessarily that is new for this year that wasn't new for last year. Last year, they did a big overhaul on this car as far as the MIA system we'll see in just a moment, the new TFT screen and the dials, the new layout down here. Well, now they have a wireless charger down here and USB-C charging and everything like that I'll show you. But other than that, a lot of this is going to be the same. So if you guys have seen the 2021 models as far as the Ghibli goes, then you're definitely going to know a lot about this interior. So let's start it up by putting our foot on the brake and start button over here, also with your lighting controls, all right, and everything there for your speedo lighting controls there. Start it up. You also have extra cubby space there. Registration, insurance and stuff is a good place to put all that. Now we'll close it up. You'll see that MIA system fire up, all right? We're gonna move this down a little bit so we can see that TFT screen a little bit. All right, so again, you guys are used to that TFT screen. You've seen that before in a lot of the 2021 models, so I won't go over it too much. But yeah, I mean, bigger graphics, better resolution, The dials look more premium, just a better look overall. You have tons of different menus where you can incorporate your driver assistance, start, stop, miles per gallon. You can see your tire pressures. You can see everything here that you need to know. Your service intervals was going to be next. Yep, service intervals and everything. I mean, it just lets you know a lot of good information. So, definitely scroll through those by using the button here to do that, or you can use your hands-free stuff to do things as well. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. And on this side, you'll have your driver assistance, highway control, adaptive cruise controls, everything there. Tried it in the middle, aluminum trim and perforated leather steering wheel. Looks good as always. I do like how Alpha steering wheel is more flat at the bottom, and that's how the MC20 and I believe the Grecale SUV steering wheel will be. So we'll probably see Maserati's new design language moving forward when we see those cars, by the end of the year. So with that said, this might be the last we see of this. Now you do have the big Italian column-mounted paddle shifters, which they're so satisfying. Listen to that. That's porn. I love that sound, all right? And then going over, you have your classic Maserati clock, all right, your leather upper on both sides with the Nero stitching. It all fits so well. They did such a good job. You also have your Alcantara pillars and total Alcantara headliner with the sunroof here, which I have to double check to see if that was an option for this year. Now, MIA system, Maserati Intelligent Assistant. Again, the best in the game. This is so responsive, so easy to use. It's not too intimidating or overwhelming. This is part of Uconnect 5, so you'll see it in a lot of Dodge vehicles and Chrysler vehicles coming up. But they made this specific for Maserati. One of those things they did was they put a Hey Maserati voice assistant in here where, you can ask Maserati or ask the car and your voice assistant to turn up the climate, turn down the climate, take you to a certain place on a GPS, do things for you to make things just that much more practical and simpler and convenient in this car. You also have your surround view camera here, all right, because we have that level 2 ADAS. You see it's in real time, so you can actually see my backpack and tripod right there on the 360 view as well. You can see it from behind, and then we do the full behind view. You can definitely get a better look, front with the 360. So again, the parking sensors and the 360, just all that, again, makes it very practical for you to drive this car. Now, as far as your comfort when it comes to the HVAC, well, you do have all your controls, dual controls down here if you want to use those. But you also have for the seats and wheel here, all right, the heated seat and the heated steering wheel and the ventilated seats as well, all right, for both sides. So make sure you check that out in case you were wondering on how to do that with your naturally drilled leather. Now, underneath, I talked about this, all right, this is new for the 2021 model year, and it got carried over to this year. So we still have the nice USB-C plug-in, the USB 2.0 plug-in, and the wireless charger here now. All right, you just set your phone there and it's charging, all right? So that's new for the Ghibli for 2021 and 2022. The Levante still doesn't have that even in 2022, all right? So you do have your nice cup holders, all right, with the chrome surround and the white in the inside. Looks very premium. You have this big carbon fiber slab to go with it. You have your two-track system for your gear shift here. So wrapped in leather, Maserati insignia, and chrome. All right, so drive here. You can do manual here using the gear select or using those satisfying paddle shifters, which, whoops, I just put it into second gear doing that. All right, drive, all right, neutral and reverse, where that will come up there for you, and park. All right, then you have your traction off button there. Hold that down for 3 seconds. Traction is off. You have your start stop button, physical button there. ICE, which is your increased efficiency we were talking about. Highway, cruise control, all that good stuff. It will save on your fuel economy. Then you got sport mode. That is going to open up those valves. Can you hear it? Open up those valves and give you that beautiful Maserati music with a little bit more throttle response and aggressiveness. Parking brake there, electric parking brake, and your controls for your Maserati MIA system here, to where if you want to toggle through things very quickly, you can do that, and your hot buttons there. All right, then you have a little bit extra stowage here. That's pretty much it. They used to have charging in there for the earlier models, but they took it out. All right, and then you do have, the cup holders, deep cup holders, lets the AC in if you want to do that. So cold air will come in to help keep the coffees cold. All right, so that is stuff that you're used to for this model. Glove box. Everything else is pretty standard. And I did want to focus in on top here, SOS. All right, your controls for your sunroof there. All right, you also have your parking sensors there. You You can turn on and off your garage home link, your reading lights and everything there, dome lights. So all your central controls are up top. Now let's hop in the back seat. And I always sit too comfortably up front, and then it makes it hard on me being 5'11" in the back. Now you can have a little bit more space in the back if you were to move the seat up. It's definitely a little tighter, you know, it is the Ghibli, so it's not as big as the Quattroporte, which is going to really cater to the backseat passengers. Now it's pretty simple back here. Yes, you get the great, you know, materials, the ventilated seats, all right, the nice stitching, you get the carbon fiber, aluminum and everything there, but there's no upgraded sound here. There's no heated seating back here. There's no rear vent shade, which will be all in this panel here. Just 2 climate control vents. And then if we go back here where the armrest is, you do have the 2 cup holders there and no charging here, all right? So that is an option to have charging here for your backseat passengers. So really, your backseat passengers don't have any heating controls or charging, just some climate vents and some cup holders. So it's pretty chill back here, not necessarily catered to the backseat passengers, but when they are back here, they will enjoy themselves with a nice comfortable ride with some nice materials around them. All right guys, so now the moment of truth. Let's talk about all these options and what's it gonna cost you for this 2022 Maserati Ghibli Modena. Now with that said, it starts life at $80,900. All right, so the Modena trim, a little bit higher spec than what a GT trim would be. Now, after all those options, you're looking at a total price of $96,045, and that's with the $1195 in destination and $300 in preparation and delivery. Now, why is that? Well, we got a couple of reasons here. Let's name a few. All right, so the full LED headlamps in the dark finish, $300. All right, the carbon fiber micro 12 trim, $1,500. The gloss red brake calipers, $500. The full LED headlamps, $1,450. The Nerissimo pack, $1,100. The ventilated front seats, $500. The Mica paint, $1,200. The 21-inch gloss black titanium wheels, $3,600. And the naturally drilled leather seats, $3,500. So those last 2 are big options. Now with that said, coming standard, well, a lot of stuff comes standard with the Modena, so we'll kind of go over this slowly just to show you everything that this comes with, because it's a lot to necessarily just talk about. So I'll let you look at it at your own leisure and go over it slowly for you guys. But yeah, those are some big options, but it just really sets the car off right. I almost see this and I'm like, oh, what would it be without? What would I want to kind of suffice for these? Because honestly, to me, to my taste, this is a perfect spec. So again, just check out those standard options this comes with the Modena trim, and then you'll see what you add on to it, what it would be like to have this thing. But you guys let me know, what do you think? Worth the price? Comments down below. All right guys, so what did you think about the Modena version of the 2022 Maserati Ghibli? Again, replacing the Ghibli S Grand Sport. This thing blacked out with the new badging and trim. It's just, it takes it to a whole nother level. Now, granted, again, this has that $13,000 worth of options and it's just under $100,000 after taxes and everything. It's a big ticket, but is it worth that ticket for you guys? Now, again, we will be driving these cars. They drive the same and sound the same as before. They haven't changed any powertrain specs or anything. So we will be driving them just to take them for a drive to get some good Maserati music. But really, we wanted to see what was new for the 2022 model year and really the pricing breakdown. So I want to show everything off to you guys. For anybody new, I want to show off what the Maserati Ghibli is about. And then we'll take it for drives once we get these things fueled up, since they just came in. This one came in yesterday, last night. So first thing in the morning, I'm here for you guys to get these out here. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below of the Modena trim of this 2022 Maserati Ghibli. Now with that said, if you guys want to help further support the channel, always check the links down below. I have a one-time link donation for my PayPal, my Cash App, and my Venmo, just in case you guys want to throw a couple extra dollars or 2 to the channel. I'm not going to stop you, and I appreciate the support. Now guys, can also check out the Ron's Rides merch in case you want the t-shirts, you want the fanny packs, the stickers, everything Ron's Rides is there. Now you can also check me out on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, see everything I'm posting, Ferrari, Maserati, and Alfa Romeo. It doesn't always make it here to the channel. And make sure you guys subscribe to the channel or click that notification bell so you don't miss any of the new 2022 content coming out from Maserati, Ferrari, and Alfa Romeo. So with that said, you guys be blessed, have a great day, and we will talk to you guys in the next Ron's Rides video. Peace.